Some early election results here in Indiana. Todd Young with a strong start to the evening ahead of the Senate race. And in the race for Secretary of State, we're told Diego Morales with an early lead. Again, very early results. We'll keep you posted throughout the night. Meanwhile, control of Congress on the ballot tonight. House GOP leader Kevin McCarthy says Republicans will take back the House tonight.
In Pennsylvania, political experts say the race for Senate between Democrat John Fetterman and Republican Mehmet Oz is pretty close. State election officials there say thousands of mail-in ballots are at risk of being rejected. In Philadelphia alone, more than 3,400 mail-in ballots had incorrect information or missing dates. Another close Senate race is in Georgia, where incumbent Raphael Warnock is battling former NFL running back Herschel Walker. Warnock was elected to the Senate after a runoff election in 2021. Let's go ahead and welcome in two members of our All Indiana Politics team.
That's right, Democrat Arielle Brandy and Republican Whitley Yates. Ladies, good to see you. Most of the voting here in Indiana is complete, as you very well know. Not all, though. So let's start with this question. What are you hearing about turnout and what's driving voters to the polls here in Indiana? Arielle, good to see you. Let's start with you tonight.
Yeah, thank you so much. Happy Election Day, everyone. I mean, I think we know in Indiana, turnout is something that we're always trying to push for. I think we got a little bit under what we did in 2018 on our early vote numbers, but I'm excited to see what happens with these Election Day numbers. We saw in some rural counties in Indiana where turnout was really high with early vote, and we know that the ballots are still being counted. So I'm looking forward to seeing if we can really crush the numbers in past 2018. I think we can. I think the issues that Hoosiers care about right now, obviously we know inflation, but I still think SB1 and that abortion ban is going to be a top issue, especially for women, young women, and also men who are actively involved in these women's lives.
Whitley, what are you hearing?
Yeah, so super excited here. I am at the JW Marriott at the election night party for the GOP, and it is exciting here. People are talking about some of the early results. And the turnout specifically from the Republican side has been great, even in early voting, which is something you usually don't see. And so as we continue the night on, we're expecting to see the red wave that everyone has been talking about, because to be honest, inflation has trumped abortion in a lot of the issues in a lot of the polls. And so we're hoping that we see that tonight at the GOP, and that there's a red wave that comes over not only statewide, but in the counties as well.
And we'll get into national politics here shortly as well. Top of the ballot tonight, though, in Indiana appears to be the Secretary of State's race. Whitley, are you worried about that one at all?
No, not at all. I think Diego was going to win. Diego's camp thinks that he's going to win. I don't think that Ms. Wells has put up a strong enough fight. And although the Democrats have put up a lot of money against Diego, I still think that his connections and ties throughout the state of Indiana are going to triumph. He's been working with Hoosiers consistently for years, and I think that that's what's going to show tonight when the voters go to the polls.
And so far, he has an early lead, as we reported just moments ago. Arielle, this could be a huge win for Democrats if Destiny Wells can pull this one out, huh?
Absolutely, and I think that she's in a very strong position to do so. I mean, she's running against someone who is an election denier. He's got sexual assault allegations. He's lied about his military record. I mean, the list goes on for Diego. And I think that the voters are going to make the right decision when it comes to Destiny. She's been winning over Democrats, independents, Republicans, everyone in between. We feel great about Destiny Wells, and we know that she's going to be our next Secretary of State, and Democrats are going to win this one.
Ladies, as you very well know, we're also closely watching that first congressional district in northwestern Indiana. Predictions from both of you on that one. Arielle.
I think that Frank Mervan is going to come out on top. I mean, we have to remember, he delivered for Hoosiers. When the Republican Party said no to infrastructure, to the American Rescue Plan, he was the one that came through for all of us. We have to remember that.
Whitley?
Listen, 90 years since the Republicans have held the seat in Congressional District 1, and tonight we are within points of holding that seat. The truth is, Mervan hasn't delivered anything, and you cannot inherit a congressional seat, and I think the voters are going to show that. The fact that we're even this close just shows how much people are fed up with the current administration and those stooges that represent them. And so what you're going to see is the first ever Black Republican elected in Indiana Congressional District 1, Jennifer Ruth Green.
All right, we'll see what happens. There are also some very big races nationally with huge implications for the next 2 years of the country. Arielle, which one is most important to you?
I'm looking at Georgia. I mean, we have not only Stacey Abrams running for governor, but when you're looking at Warnock and being able to hold that seat in his race against Walker, I mean, it's hands down, we got to go ahead and keep Georgia blue. I'm really excited about that race. I want to see what happens there. My eyes are on Georgia.
And Whitley, which one are you watching from the Republican perspective?
You know, I'm watching Georgia, but I'm also watching Pennsylvania. I think the Oz-Fetterman race has been very interesting, to say the least.
Yes.
After that debate, I think that Oz definitely has shown that he is more capable of doing the job. It's just depending on what the voters feel is in their best interest and who's to best represent them. As Ariel said, absolutely Georgia. Warnock versus Herschel Walker is going to be also a very interesting race. To see two black men from different sides of the aisle kind of in a head-to-head is a very interesting race, I think, for the country as we move toward this idea of minorities becoming the majority and seeing two demographics that are usually less represented being the majority in a race in Georgia is very interesting, I think.
Yeah, we'll see what happens with that. Ariel, I saw you agreeing on the Pennsylvania one as well. That's pretty interesting.
I mean, yeah, I think that one's going to be one that everyone's going to be watching too. But Willie makes a good point. Right now in American politics, we have the opportunity where we are running candidates of color from both sides of the aisle. And this is something that I think Americans are very excited about. So regardless of party affiliation, we have an opportunity right now to really put marginalized communities at the top of the ballot and allow them to come on top. I'm excited to see where these races go. And I mean, congratulations to everyone. And I'm looking forward to seeing how the outcomes are.
Well said. Good conversation, ladies. We'll talk to you soon. Thank you very much. We'll be right back.